Okay, so I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about G1 Climax, days 10 to 12. And, gotta say, little disappointed with the B block. A block did their thing, but this is focused more on the B block, and, B block just was very underwhelming, especially with day 12. But, without without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into it. So, day 10, we have Evil defeat Toriano. This match lasted 2 minutes, and thank God it lasted 2 minutes. Oh shit, it's starting to get dark. Let me turn the light. Alright, so, yeah, thank God this lasted 2 minutes, because the previous matches with involving Toriano, they have dragged on excruciatingly to like 10 minutes. They might even go 15 at the most. Fucking ridiculous. Glad they kept it short and sweet. Evil ended up, doing his usual bullshit. Hit a low blow, tried to roll up, but Evil said fuck that, hit the STO, and he ends up picking up the win. So we go on from that to Minoru Suzuki defeating Tama Tonga. This was a pretty good match where it started off with these guys brawling outside the ring into the crowd, hitting each other with chairs, throwing each other into the wall. Pretty much what you would probably expect from these two. Tama Tonga, not really a great worker. Suzuki's a really good worker. But this match ended up working out pretty good. Guys going back and forth. You did have that ref bump, and then you had fucking interference. Interference from fucking Suzuki Goon, and then Bullet Club members ended up running in to help out Tama Tonga, but at the end, Suzuki ended up getting Tama Tonga in the sleeper hold, and then followed it up with the pile driver to pick up the win. It's pretty good match. Then we get to Sonata versus Unbreakable Michael Elgin, where Sonata ended up beating him. It was a really good match. Much better. The matches started to get better here. And Sonata and Elgin. Sonata using his speed, Elgin with his power. You had Elgin, can't remember exactly. You had some good counters where Elgin would try to go for the Falcon Arrow, Sonata would counter it with his sleeper hold. Then you had damn, my memory's kind of a little off. Whatever. Because I remember Sonata would throw him on the outside. And yet, that one where Sonata was getting out the ring, and Elgin kind of held the ropes for Sonata. And Sonata, he would do that trope where when his opponent was outside the ring, he'd act like he's letting them get in the ring. And as they're entering the ring, he kicks the rope right into their balls. Sonata tried that shit, but Elgin wasn't falling for it. Then Elgin, he was kind of letting Sonata in the ring, but he never even did. But he let Sonata get in the ring. It was a clean break. But it was a lot of really good shit. Sonata ended up hitting him. Knowing Elgin, he wasn't gonna tap, so Sonata would put him in a fucking dragon sleeper. Then he would drag him and hit the mood assault for the win. Good match. Elgin having a really good G1. He's been fairly consistent throughout the match. Although I feel bad, I don't know who he pissed off backstage for day 12 to go the way it did, but we'll get to that soon. So then we get to the co-main event, Kenny Omega defeating Satoshi Kojima. It was a really good match. Where these two just going in there, putting on a wrestling performance. Ignore that damn phone call. Random phone number. But Omega ends up defeating Kojima. Yeah, really good Kojima. Really good counters to Kojima's lariat. Or a lot of times Kojima tried to hit the lariat, but Omega would dodge him. And then when Omega went for the V trigger a few times, Kojima would catch him with a few lariats. And Omega got most of the offense in. And Kojima ends up hitting the lariat, his normal lariat, but Omega ended up kicking out at 2, so Omega had to spam like 2 or 3 V triggers, followed by a one wing angel to pick up the win. That was probably like the second best match on the card, and then the best match on the card would be the main event, Okada versus Juice Robinson. This was a damn good match where Robinson, he was going in there, he was still selling his knee injury. When he had Okada, he was 100% going into the match. And Juice just had a performance of a lifetime, where Okada was just beating the shit out of him throughout the match. And Juice, he displayed that fighting spirit. And at one point where Okada's just like, this motherfucker's pissing me off, and he starts yelling at him. He's like beating him down, yelling at him. And then Juice is starting to get fired up after Okada starts yelling. He's just all angry, and then when Juice gets up, Okada kind of has that shit-eating grin where he kind of kicks him in the face a few times, and when he goes for another kick, Juice blocks it, and he's like, fuck you, and then he hits a clothesline. I was just phenomenal match where Juice was fighting through the pain of his knee, but at the end, Okada ended up being too much, and he ended up hitting 2 to 3 Rainmakers to put him away. Really love that match. Great main event. Great to end off this show. Show's pretty solid, so the Evil Yano match, garbage. But it wasn't as bad as the previous Yano matches. At least it was short. So overall, I'd have to give this show 7 out of 10. The last 2 matches are really good to watch, as well as Sonata and Elgin. Again, Suzuki, just skip all you gotta do is skip Yano and Evil. Because there's just not much. That's the ongoing theme is, if you miss a Yano match, you're not missing anything. So it's nothing to worry about. So on to day 11. We're back to the A block. So the first match is, we get Yoshihashi defeating Bad Luck Fale, where Yoshihashi was trying to avoid Fale with his speed. Avoid Fale's power with his speed. Fale was getting a lot of offense in. Yoshihashi would make his usual comebacks, and at the end, he would try the butterfly lock, but then he got into a roll, and he won with a roll-up, transitioning from the butterfly lock into a roll-up for the 3 count. It's not a bad match. Decent match to get the crowd's blood flowing. So from that, you go Zack Sabre Jr. defeating Togi Makabe. It's Sabre's technical prowess against Makabe's powerhouse brawling style. Really good match. It was a good way for these two to match their styles well. Where in the end, Makabe went for a lariat, but Sabre Jr. kind of targeted his knee. Then he put him in, I can't remember what the submission's called. Put him in a submission, and surprisingly, Makabe tapped. this is the first time that I've seen Makabe tap out before, so that was an interesting finish. But good to see Sabre pick up the win. Zack Sabre Jr. He's been doing well throughout the G1 Climax. Excuse me. Makabe's been Makabe, where he's been okay. He's had some really good matches, like the match with Ishii, Goto. About to watch the match he's gonna have with Tanahashi, which is gonna be a main event. Which I don't agree. That should be a main event, because it's really not that good of a main event match to see. But whatever. So we go from that match to Tomohiro Ishii defeating Yuji Nagata. This was a really good, hard-hitting match. Both guys feeling each other out. Then Ishii just hitting Steiner line, but hitting Nagata with a few chops. So these guys start smashing each other with forearms. Just a typical match where these guys are just beating the shit out of each other. And I loved it. You have, oh my god, why do I keep saying Makabe? But you got Yuji Nagata's, the whole story with Nagata, with this being his final G1. And he's just going balls out. Really admire that from Nagata. Could have mailed it in, but throughout this G1, he's been busting his ass. And I can appreciate that. So, at one point where Ishii was he was getting most of the offense in, and a few times he would kind of kick Nagata, then slap him around, and then Nagata just has that little like, did this motherfucker just slap him? Is this motherfucker kicking and slapping? Oh, hell no. Then Nagata gets pissed and he just goes off, kicking him in the chest, kicking him in the back. Just these excessive kicks. He just wasn't taking any of that bullshit whatsoever. So, and it was just a great match, but at the end, Ishii was just too much for him. Hit him with a sliding lariat, headbutt, and a brainbuster to pick up the win. And Nagata, he's pretty much eliminated from the tournament. So he has no chance in hell of winning. Then you get the co-main event, Naito and Goto. Thought this was a really good match. Not as good as their previous matches, but it's still a fun match to watch, where you have Naito being Naito, where he's just going to spit in Goto's face, do his usual heel shit. Goto using his power. Goto brawling with Naito as usual. Just typical Goto Naito match. And then at the end, and you have really good counters though. Times where Goto would try to get the GTR, but Naito would slip up. There was a sloppy Destino where it's like, There's one Destino where Goto kicked out, and then Naito had to hit a second Destino to put him away. This one, not as good. The quality kind of took a slight dip compared to the Ishii-Nagata match, but it was still a damn good match. So I think this would have been better if you had put this match third. And then you have Nagata and Ishii as the co-main event. But I can see why they did it, because Naito, he's really probably one of the most, if not the most over wrestler in New Japan right now. So it's understandable. And then we get the main event where you have Kota Ibushi defeating Hiroshi Tanahashi. This was a great match. Tanahashi was acting like a heel in this match. where Kota Ibushi came into this as the fan favorite, obviously, and you have Tanahashi just acting like a heel, working over his leg. Kota Ibushi was selling very well. Really thought this was a damn good match from both of these guys. Best match of day 11. One of the better matches of the A block throughout this G1 tournament. Salute to Tanahashi. He's putting guys over clean that should be put over clean. You know, like a Zack Sabre Jr., Kota Ibushi, where he knows it's not going to hurt him at all. So he does it. That's why I like Tanahashi. And fuck the people who say he's the Japanese John Cena. He's not. John Cena ain't putting anybody over clean. And people could probably try to bring up Shinsuke Nakamura, the match with Nakamura. But we all know at some point Cena's going to have some bullshit built-in excuse as to why he lost. And he's going to get his get back on Nakamura and bury him. But going off on a tangent there. Just a great match. Recommend you. The last 3 matches I strongly recommend. I give this show 8.5 out of 10. Great job. The A block. With day 9, they kind of fell off, but they kind of picked it back up. So, good to see that. The A block standings as of right now have yet to see days 13 through 15. So I haven't seen those matches yet. So, as far as I am on the G1, here are the A block standings. We got Tetsuya Naito and Hiroshi Tanahashi tied for 8 points. Sorry, 8 points. Actually, Ishii, Zack Sabre. Actually, all 4 of them are tied with 8 points. Naito, Tanahashi, Ishii, and Zack Sabre Jr. tied with 8 points. Haruki Goto, Kota Ibushi, Togi Makabe, and Bad Luck Fale are tied with 6 points. Yoshihashi has 4 points, and then Yuji Nagata has 0 points. On to day 12. Back to the B block. We start off with a pretty good match with Sonata and Juice. Sonata working over that leg of Juice Robinson because Juice is still selling the knee. Juice has become damn good at in-ring psychology. I heard he sucked back in NXT when he was like, CJ Parker or something like that, whatever his name was in the E. But seeing him in New Japan and how far he's progressed, it's been really good to see that. And if New Japan wanted, I could see them putting Juice Robinson in the main event scene. I wouldn't mind that. You could start him off with a fucking never open weight title run. I'd like to see him get the never open weight title belt at some point. Get him started at least. Or the US Championship. Have him take it off Omega. I don't mind seeing that when he's ready. So, but Sonata, he was working over the leg most of the time. When they brought in the outside, kind of tied the leg up, he would drop kick, deliver drop kicks and shit. Juice, he kept trying to fight back, and at the end, Sonata ended up putting him in the dragon sleeper. Then, as Juice was starting to fade, kind of drags Juice into the corner so he can hit the Great Muta moonsault to pick up the win. Juice Robinson, he's kind of like in that role of Tomoaki Honma, where he's over with the fans. You kind of want to see him to get 2 or 3 wins, but it's like, but you know he's going to do the job. That's how I see Juice, although he did pick up a win. And I did kind of spoil myself. I think it's day 14. He did, because I saw on Twitter that apparently he beat Kenny Omega in day 14. So, good for Juice Robinson. Then, so moving on from that, we get Toru Yano defeating Michael Elgin. You know how I feel about Yano. About how much of an embarrassment to pro wrestling he is. And in the whole 9 yards. Please, just fucking stop. Where Yano was doing his usual bullshit. Elgin got some offense in, and then this was the worst ending ever. Where Yano tried to hit Elgin with a low blow. Elgin caught it, but then the second time, when he had the ref, when the ref wasn't looking, Yano fucking got a low blow. Tried to roll up, Elgin caught him, and then Yano sold that he got hit with a low blow, and he ends up winning by DQ. This was the this might be this is a match in New Japan that has insulted my intelligence more than any match they've ever put out. This shit got to WWE levels of retarded. You see fucking Evil wrap chairs around motherfuckers' necks. Take another chair. It's smash the chair wrapped around his opponent's throat. No DQ there. But Yano fakes getting low blow. And that's a DQ. Just fucking ridiculous. I'm not even gonna rant. Fuck. Let me just hurry up and move on. So we get to Minoru Suzuki and Satoshi Kojima. I was really getting hyped for this match. I was really excited for this match, and I was real disappointed. Because this was just way too much fucking interference. I mean, yeah, Desperado interfering like once or twice is like, okay, I can deal with it. But goddamn, they got fucking Tai Chi and Desperado and Tai Chi. It got fucking constant interference nonstop. Shit got ridiculous. And the ref threatens to fucking eject Hiroyoshi Tenzan, who was fighting Tai Chi and Desperado, but he never threatened to eject Desperado and Tai Chi. Shit got dumb as fuck. The match was meh. It wasn't trash, but it wasn't good. It was just meh. Suzuki ended up hitting the pile driver to pick up the 3 count. Whatever. Then you got Tama Tonga and Okada. That match, it was okay. Tama Tonga, they were brawl usual. Okada had to carry Tama Tonga. I mean, the match is meh. Just nothing special. Okada ends up picking up the win with the Rainmaker. So that's really all there is for Okada and Tama Tonga. I mean, you did have Tama Tonga. I mean, there were spots like Tama Tonga when you attacked Okada from the beginning of the bell, and he was putting on Okada's coat, Okada's robe, and shit. And then Okada was like, "Yeah, fuck this." Kind of beats the shit out of Tama Tonga. But then Tama Tonga got the slight advantage. But this match wasn't all that great. Okada, he kind of dialed it in. I like Okada, but yeah, Okada's my favorite guy, but he dialed it in. He really didn't do anything great. Tama Tonga, I mean, he's better than last year, where he was kind of shit last year. This year hasn't really, not too great. His best match I'll probably say it was with Omega. So going from that, we got the main event, Kenny Omega and Evil. This was a really good. This was easily the best match of the night. These guys were going. It was the first time these guys worked together, and for the first time these guys worked together, they did a really good job. So, because you would have Evil and Omega, they were just brawling in and out the ring. Where Evil tried to slam Omega in the concrete, but he couldn't. So Omega ended up hitting him with a body slam on the concrete. Then you had Evil trying to. Evil ended up doing his usual spot where he wraps a chair around Omega, grabs another chair, hits the chair wrapped around Omega's throat, fucking him up. Some usual spots. You have usual stuff that these guys would do in their offense. You also had some really good spots where Evil did like a spine buster on the apron, and Omega tried to put Evil through this table, but it didn't work, and Evil ended up hitting an STO through the table, and you could tell it really cut him up. You saw like lacerations above the eyebrow for Evil. Omega, he didn't have any lacerations at all. And towards the end, looked like Evil suffered a concussion. Hope he's okay. Because at the end, Omega, he was spamming those V-triggers, and those were some nasty fucking V-triggers. And Evil, he looked out of it. Like, one of them hit him so hard, it looked like he was legit knocked the fuck out. So, hopefully Evil turned out okay. But Omega ends up hitting another V-trigger, and then hits a one-wing angel for the 3 count to pick up the win. So, that was a great match. Only great match out of this night. Just disappointment. I give this show a 6 out of 10. It was alright. Just felt there could have been so much more. Like, the Sonata Juice match was decent. Then it went downhill with fucking Yano and Elgin. And then Suzuki and Kojima. If they didn't have so much interference, I felt that could have been a great match. If they didn't have all that interference up the ass. Okada and Tama Tonga mailed it in. Wasn't really much. Evil and Omega did a really good job. So I'm looking forward to... so I hope the B Block really gets their shit together. Because it's a complete 180 where... Last year the A Block was so disappointing. This year, they've been fairly consistent. They had like a bit of they had some shows that were a little disappointing, but for the most part, they've been staying on top of their game. Whereas B Block, they were just great last year, and they weren't even as stacked as the A Block. And then this year, they just haven't really fired on all cylinders. But let's look at the standings for the B Block as in this video as of day 12, after day 12. Before I've seen day 14 and onward. So I'm 4 days behind in the G1. But Okada is on top of the leaderboards with 12 points. Kenny Omega is second with 10. Tied for third place is Minoru Suzuki, Sonata, and Evil with 8 points. Elgin, Tama Tonga, and Toru Yano all have 4 points. Juice Robinson's second to last with 2, and then Kojima still at 0. So this G1, it's been a solid G1. Overall, I'm still enjoying this G1 so far. So hopefully the A Block can keep putting on good shows. Maybe try to get some better shows than they have, and then B Block can actually step it up, hopefully. So overall, I have to give this one like 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10 between those 3 days. Where it was good, but it could have been better. So yeah, that's it for days 10 to 12 of the G1 Climax. I'm gonna try to catch up and try to get in days 13 and 14 today. At least those, and day 15. So let's see, at the earliest, I could maybe get out the days 13 to 15 review, maybe Saturday at the earliest, possibly Sunday, but who knows? Maybe could end up being next Tuesday or Wednesday, Tuesday or next Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. So either way, I will come back 3 to 7 days, like 3 days to a week, to talk to you about days 13 to 15 of the G1. But by the time I get to like day 16 to 18, the G1 will already be over, and then day 19, I'll watch that one as a whole, and I can give you like a full review. I can focus on that day more and have more details on each match. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll be catching you guys later. Peace out.